Hello, we are back for the Becoming Fully Powered Author Spotlight. And I'm here. I thought Melissa was gonna wear her cute you have like a black one, I saw.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
just
I
wore it
should
for the
have
first time.
given you
Yeah.
the memo or told you to run home and go grab that. But
Yeah.
I am so excited because Melissa and I have a very long relationship, or to me, it feels like a
Yeah.
long relationship. And here she is.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to, oh my gosh, I feel like this could be 2 hours,
Yes.
this talk, but I really want to celebrate you and everything that you've done. I mean, you've said yes, and walked in faith and courage when
Mhm.
there was no road.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I understand not feeling safe for a lot of people. They're like, I can't invest before I know what's happening, but
Mhm.
I feel like one of your gifts is that you walk in faith and you're
Yeah.
always supported, you are always provided for.
Mhm.
And I think that's such a huge strength of yours. So I wanted to
Thank you.
just start off and say that. So why don't you introduce yourself now that I just bragged on you and people are like,
Okay.
who is this woman? Dr.
Well,
Melissa Turner.
yes, I am Melissa Turner. I am a former pharmacist, did the whole retail world for almost 8 years and left in May of 2021, so almost 5 years ago. And like you said, I took that leap of faith. I had no idea what I was doing, if it would work out. I don't know anything about starting my own business. I have no business experience, but I knew that I could not stay where I was,
Yeah.
that something had to change. And so I left, and over these last few years, I've learned a lot about myself and started my own business. I was originally doing genetic testing for medications and nutrition, and then started integrating my faith into my business. And even that has evolved. So it was last summer, summer of 25, when I stopped doing the genetic testing altogether because I knew it was great information and it was very helpful for people, but I didn't really see people's lives change. They were
Hmm.
still in those same patterns. And there were some other things that happened. I was like, meeting you was one of those big things for me, learning about what you do and how you help me. And last summer, when I helped another woman have a breakthrough in less than 10 minutes, and she got to the root of her unworthiness. And she said afterwards, I've done years of counseling and therapy and thousands of dollars, and no one has been able to help me like you did in less than 10 minutes. And that was like, okay, that's it. That's
In
everything.
you go.
I'm like, okay, God, got it.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
I made that pivot in my business again, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
I love it. And you touched on something that I want to anchor into here. And I remember seeing this post that you had. I don't even know if we were working together yet. And you were like, should I start talking about God? And I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
talking about your faith and spirituality. And really, that's the foundation of, when entrepreneurship's not easy.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not
It's
easy.
not.
And so, like, you need a firm foundation
Yes. Yeah.
and to be able to go to, whether it's a coach, but, ultimately it's God, like that faith, which again, you always move in faith, even when it's scary, even when
Mhm.
you don't see the full path. And
Mhm.
that, again, it's something so rare and so beautiful. And
Mhm.
so, like, I feel like if you have a business and you don't have God, to me, I'm like, what are you building on?
Yeah.
That's just my honest opinion. Like, you
Yeah.
guys know I'm always raw, but I think that even in my own business, like, it's not always glitzy glammy. There's
Yeah.
real stuff that happens, and you
Yeah.
have to have, that's really what I feel like nervous system work is. It's like, coming back to that solid foundation of like, I've got me, God's got me, no matter
Mhm.
what happens, whether it's discomfort or having a hard conversation, like we just
Yeah.
talked about before we popped on here. Like, that's so key. And that's when you can really expand your brilliance, when you have a
Yeah.
solid foundation. So just tell me like what you think about that.
Well, so two things when we talk about that come up in my mind. So one was a verse I read earlier this week. It's Psalm 119, 105, and it says, your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So talking about God's word lighting our path. And then
Wow.
it's a verse I've heard many times and read and I know by heart, but I didn't really until this week take the time to think about it. So God's word, it doesn't show us the whole path. We don't see the light at the end, but he gives us enough to take that next step. And so I think that's what nervous system work is as well, is what can I do, that 1% shift that we've talked about, to take that next step. I may not see how it ends, and God has not called me to be able to see the whole thing. That's his job.
Right.
But do I have the faith? Do I have the tools to be able to take that one next step? And then the other thing that I thought about is I saw someone else post, and I got to go back and find it. And I know who posted it, so I may have to ask her, but it was an image and it just showed the progress. So like there was little blue squares. So you start out here and then, you progress and you get a couple more blue blocks, and
Yes.
it just keeps getting darker. And then it was like the fourth or fifth row, it was like, we're back to one block. It's like, I forgot everything. And that happened to me last week. Like, I was making such good progress, and then I felt like I was right back at square one. But then you keep building, and you're like, okay, I forgot some things. Let me go back. It's okay. But again, if you don't have that faith, you don't have that trust in something outside of yourself, trusting God that he's going to carry you. When you have those moments when you I feel like I'm right back where I started, when you hit those rock bottom moments again, because it doesn't just happen one time and God's like, okay, good. You've had your one for your lifetime. You're good. That's not realistic. But do I have the tools? Okay, I can do this again. I've been here before. What have I learned? And I think that's the point of the book, so that people can see that.
Yeah, and I think that I'm having so many things come through my intuition as you say this. First of all, I need to go back and watch the verse that you said, and it was so beautifully worded that I really hope so many people watch this and they watch the replay, because there's so much knowledge that you pour through. And I love how you've always brought in your faith through like Bible verses, because it just solidifies everything so much. But yeah, it's not just a one and done. Like, it's at every next level that we go, it's like, okay, there goes my, like, I just went through this. There goes my unworthiness again. There goes this. And it's like, okay, I can hold myself in this because I know how to do this.
Right.
And I'm also going to stretch myself and lean on my support.
Yeah.
So you had an interesting story about this, like stretching your capacity, if you feel called to share it.
Well, I've had a lot of, different things that have come up. And so one thing that happened recently is, so I have a group of friends that I'm really close with, and one of them did something. And when I found out about it, I was like,
yeah,
what? And those old wounds came up of, see, you got left out again, just like you've always been left out. You've always been the last to know. They didn't consult you. They didn't even consider you. You're not worthy. Like, are they really your friends? And like all those old things came back up, and I'm like, nope. Let me sit with my feelings. Let me be hurt for a moment. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, she doesn't know everything that's going on my side. I have questions for her. Like,
yeah,
there's something else going on. We need to communicate. And so old me, before I met Christina, before I learned how the nervous system works and what's coming up, I would have just let that sit with me. I would have just been hurt. And I would have been like, you know what, it's okay. They're fine. But it wasn't. I was genuinely hurt. Let's talk about it. And so having those conversations and being like, hey, this is what came up for me. I need you to understand, like, from my side, I need to ask you questions so I can understand more your side. Can we work this out? It was great. It was fine. There was no issue. But had I not,
yeah,
it would have festered in resentment and all those other things.
Well,
So,
I love what you're saying because I feel like you would have just taken it in
yeah.
and eaten it,
Yep.
right?
I
And
would
that's what
have.
a lot of us do. We're like,
Yeah.
I'll just keep suppressing and keep taking it, but you restored connection
Yeah.
and you came from curiosity, which can only happen in a regulated state.
Right.
So I really applaud you because I know that this is the work. Like you can think about this analogy for everybody who's like, what the fuck is nervous system work? Like you can think about riding a bike and you can imagine riding a bike, but until you actually go through trying to figure out, okay, well, like how do I balance myself? What
Right.
muscles do I use? Just like you, like maybe conflict, it was very uncomfortable at one
Oh,
point, and then
yes.
we stretch and we
Yeah.
communicate and we restore connection and we get clarity. Okay, what's really happening here?
Yeah.
And you and I had to have this a conversation too. I won't go into the details, but I was proud of us. I was like, go us, we figured it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't, because when we shut down, then the other person can't say, wait, no, but like this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So I think it's a beautiful thing that your God is calling you to strengthen this muscle in this season of your life in multiple different ways,
Yeah.
because the truth is you are included.
Yeah.
You are included, and
Yeah.
our old Satan wants to come in and be like, oh, see, da 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 da. And it's
Yeah.
like, no,
Yeah.
what is true? What
Yeah.
is real right now? And then, and if they were bad friend or whatever, then okay, then now I
Yeah.
can discern and know.
Yeah.
But I think that that's what I've seen in you is such a growth in being able to like stay with the discomfort and like still um speak your truth. Which and people might be listening and be like, "Okay, that's great." But like where are the tangible outcomes? But that does like you have to build the inner foundation,
Yeah.
because if you don't speak up, then that's when we don't have the results that we want in our health and our relationships and our business. So
Yeah.
all of this is going to translate for you.
Right.
I want you to hear those words that it will. It
It will.
absolutely
Yeah.
will. So anything else before I move on to the book?
No, that's good. But the having that conversation, one friend was really like, I don't know, I'm nervous about how they're going to react. And I'm like, no, we got to talk about this.
Yeah.
I think we're close enough. We can talk about this. And, the friend that, hurt me, she was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
I
yeah.
see. Of course you would. I understand. But again, she didn't have all the information. So yeah, when that stuff stays inside, then you think, oh, it's just inside. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect anything. Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
It always
Stress
comes back. So,
chemistry. Yeah, all of
yep.
that.
Yes. So,
So let's pivot to the book now, because
yep.
you write so beautifully in the book. And let me see if I can, as you start to talk about let me see if I can find you back. I think you're the last one because you're
I
T.
am. Yeah.
What was this like to write out your story?
Ooh, it was an experience. I've never done this before. I've never contributed to a book. I am working on my own book and started working on that last summer and want to get that published this year. But that's a much more intense process. But really talking about my rock bottom moment in writing, I've done a lot of speaking about it,
Yeah.
but writing, that was a completely new process for me. And it was a healing process as well to get it all out on paper, and the questions that you asked us, dig a little bit deeper and really get to what that process was like and how can this help someone else. So
So if you could kind of summarize how you want people to feel after they read your chapter, what would that be?
hope.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I kept coming back to, is as painful as this experience was for me, I know that I'm not alone in this, that there are other women who have lost someone that they love, who have someone that they love that was taken from them, who is no longer with them, and they never got to have that closure to say goodbye, or to have those conversations that you didn't feel safe having. But now that they're gone, you can't do that. And so that regret, that shame, that guilt can sit with us, or we can work through that. And I just want them to know that wherever you're at right now, that's not the end of your story, that there is hope on the other side.
That's beautiful. And I know Deborah Bowers, I know her and I are doing our, I think it's next week. She said the same thing about hope, like really sparking hope. I feel like that's a beautiful bridge for moving from a disempowered state to
Mm-hmm.
empowered, because if we feel hopeless, then it's like, what's the point? You're in
Right.
apathy. So that people reading this book, reading people's stories, you're going to resonate. Whoever's watching this now, you're going to resonate with each person, because emotions and experiences are universal, right? So you mentioned some things like guilt, shame, regret, all of that. You're going to see yourself in these people's stories. And so no matter where you are,
Mm-hmm.
I wish that I would have had a book like this if, when I
Same.
was going through my my
Yeah.
horrible time of my life. Um, but I will say that God restores. Like that was a big part of my TED talk, or my TED talk, my signature talk,
Yeah.
was that I feel like, what from a higher perspective, when we our life is demolished and we have nothing but the clothes on our back,
Yeah.
it's almost like, where else are you going to look but up? Where else
Right.
can you look? And from that place, then God can rebuild something new. So rock bottom's not the end. It's actually fertile ground for a new beginning.
Right.
So I think that that's really important for people to hear. Like that's what I would want people to walk away with after
Mhm.
reading these stories.
Yeah.
So,
And knowing that if it wasn't for, and I've thought about this a lot, had Katie not died, where would I be? Would I still be at CVS miserable and hating my life, or, you know, but look at what it's led to. I wanted something good to come out of Katie's death, for there to be purpose in the pain that we all went through.
oh, absolutely. I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Yeah.
And the shock when you have a shocking event like that, that is really dysregulating for the nervous system too. Like
Yeah.
some people even get triggered by surprises. I think we've talked about this.
Yeah.
So then it was kind of even deeper for you. It was just like this unimaginable traumatic thing, but it was a shock.
Right.
So yeah. Well, I thank you for so courageously sharing, and for doing the work that you're doing with women. I want to hear a little bit more about that, because I know you have touched so many lives, Melissa, with clients, with people in church. And I know that a
Mhm.
big goal, because you're in my Fully Powered Feminine program, was to triple your impact
Yeah.
this year. So speak that out to me.
Uh, yeah, so I just finished working with a client and talking about surprises and helping her see a blind spot for her. So, growing up, she shared, well, in one session, she was like, "Oh, I had a trauma free life. I've never had
Right.
anything bad happen to me." But then in the next session, she shared that she got teased a lot as a child by the adults in her family, adults at church, like made fun of, like, haha, always made the joke. She was overweight. And that's just how it was. That was normal. That was the part of the culture. But now we can understand why she doesn't like a surprise birthday. Like her husband better not surprise her, or, anything like that, because she wants to be in control. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so you may not have had some, catastrophe, abuse, neglect, a car accident. You didn't have anything big, but you still had events little by little over
Yeah.
years and years that shaped your nervous system and how you are today. And
Mm.
she was like, oh, I never thought of that. And I was like, okay, so now how do we bring safety? How do we show your nervous system that it's okay to, do fun things or to have unexpected things come up, and that it's not going to be the end of the world. So that's what I worked on with her.
That's so beautiful. And yeah, I think a lot of times people don't realize, and you said it so beautifully, it's that blind spot that we're like, oh, like I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, but you don't realize that there's this thing you're not seeing,
Yeah.
that now she had a control pattern that was an adaptive strategy that's
Yeah.
probably showing up in and affecting every area of her life. And we don't
Right.
do it from a shameful place, but just curiosity. Like, well, how does this now shape what you're able to receive? So I don't know if this person's in business or not, but like that's also related to receiving. So
Yeah.
if we're like, oh, control, I can't, how is that going to affect, say that she did have a business, I don't know. Or even love, right? Like even holding good things. Like the
Yeah.
nervous system work isn't just about holding the tension of disconnection, or I mean discomfort or criticism or the negative things, but it's also like holding the good
Yeah.
and stretching that receiving. Like I deserve good things in my life.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I love it. So where can people connect with you? And is there anything else you want to share?
Um, I don't think I think of anything else to share, but you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I do have a YouTube channel for my business, Turnaround Wellness, and I just did a series of videos, 5 different videos of how you can know that your nervous system is dysregulated. So things that if you haven't done this work, you might say, "Oh, that's just my personality," or that
Mm.
that's just how I was raised, but shining a light and saying, "Hey, that no, that's your nervous system, and what is it costing you?"
Mhm.
So I have some new videos up there, and then turnaroundwellness.com
Beautiful. Well, I'm so proud of you.
on the book.
And yeah, in the
Yes,
book, everything is in the book. So mark your, I keep saying it in every single thing, every single interview that we do here. Mark your calendars for these 2 dates, people.
yeah,
March 18th is the day you buy the book on Amazon, and
yep,
then come to the book signing on April 11th, because it is going to be a beautiful, intimate event where you're going to be able to hear from all of these authors, more about their stories. I'm going to be teaching about my fully powered method,
yeah.
and we're going to have a because I don't drink alcohol. I don't, and I know a lot of people don't, but we're going to have a like a mimosa toast. So I'll use that in
Oh,
quotes.
okay.
So
Well, I
yes,
will end with sharing this.
yeah, go
So
ahead.
we had some, Christina asked for the authors to have some women or, other people to pre-read the book and,
Yeah.
give us your feedback. And, we want to hear from you. And so I wanted to share that what one of the women sent me. And she said, I started reading it. God's timing is perfect, as it is something that I need to hear now in my life.
Mm,
Thank you for sharing your journey and challenges. It's quite brave of you, and I'm honored to be a part of this reading. So I hope everybody gets the book and that it is meaningful to you, and that you see the hope and see that if you're in rock bottom right now, that there is hope on the other side, and you can use this for good, whatever you're going through.
beautiful. I don't think I can top that with the ending. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna close this out.
Okay.
That was the mic drop.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, everybody, for
Thank you.
watching. And then our next episode podcast interview is next week. So thank you so much, Melissa,
You're
and
welcome. Thank you for having me.
see you all next week.
Bye.